Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Aizenian Dialectics. So today our topic will be about the question, is falling in love necessary for marriage? Now what do we mean by that? Should two people, man and woman, who are willing to marry, be in love in order to marry? Is that a condition that should exist for every couple in order to marry and then have a successful type of marriage? Now, what is the place of love or the role of love in choosing a partner? I argue that it is a minimal role. There is in Islam no condition that says the man or the woman should be in love with the other person for him or for her to accept him as a partner in marriage. There is no such condition. But today, people are making it a condition. And you can see that, and especially women, women are reluctant and at least hesitant to marry a guy that they do not just love, but they are not in love with. And we will discuss the difference between falling in love and loving. But why is that? The reason is simply that the modern society and the modernity in general has programmed women to think and to believe that in order to have a good marriage, you should be in love. How did they do that? From Disney movies, princesses, from romantic series, movies, even mangas, whatever the case may be. Every marriage, every they lived happily ever after has started with a love story before they get to the marriage. So from very early in their age, they were used to these type of stories. Even their mothers or families tell them these types of stories. The white knight that will come and save the princess. And the princess, no matter the way she conducts herself, she can be having the worst attitude and the worst personality possible. She is a princess. And this is the entitlement issue that the women have in our modern times. So what is necessary and the condition that has a relation with this is that it is sufficient for the man and the woman to like one another for them to marry. I argue that this is important for the man to like the one who is going to marry and vice versa. But is it necessary? Is it necessarily a romantic type of like? No. It's not a crush or whatever. This is for teenagers. When you're an adult, and again, we will talk in another episode maybe about what is an adult and where does it start? Does it start where it tells you to start 18 or 25 or whatever? No, it's not the case. But that's a topic for another day. So it's not the crush that is necessary, but the man or the woman has some good qualities that you deem necessary for a long-lasting relationship, then that's what is important. And you like him for those reasons, because they are necessities, and they are logical, reasonable, and material. Stop thinking about futile things, unnecessary things, irrelevant things in the long run. And yes, physical attraction is a plus, but it's not the most important things. Neither it is the second most important thing. It comes later on. So those are the things that you should focus on. Because falling in love or having a crush usually makes you blind to the real problems, to the red flags that the person has. And this is another problem for these people who prioritize loving and having a crush, and making it a necessary condition for them to actually accept or have somebody as their lifetime partner. Love in Islam has been set, has been defined. It is al-mawadda wal-rahma. And you can go on actually. It's also sacrifice. And there are many hadith in this regard. It is compassion. This is love in Islam. And this is something that gets built. It's not falling in love in this romantic modern sense that you see today. It is not. And later on, I will play a clip which will show you what is falling in love actually is, and the difference between loving and falling in love, because there is a difference. There is a decisive difference. Love is what Islam tells you. It's what makes the relationship last. So women, and believing women, should stay away from this mindset. You're not living in a Disney princess movie, and neither should you. And ironically enough, in this modern times when this idea has been spread widely, the rate of divorces is staggering. So why do you think is that, if we're doing it the right way, not the same way that it was before, which these people call backwarded, and that's why they criticize arranged marriage, for example. Some ways of arranged marriage are wrong, no doubt about it. And not all of them. If the woman and the man meet and they decide that, okay, we agree, then it is completely fine because they agreed on it. Even if they don't know each other before, it doesn't matter. Because if those qualities are met, then this ensures a higher rate of success for this marriage to last. And I would argue that it is even better than when the two are in love. Because when the two are already in love, they have already a form of structure and expectations. And when they live together under the same roof, things start to break down because the reality is not the same as the world that they built inside their heads. That imaginary world where everything is pink and beautiful. And there should be no problems. No, on the other hand, the other type understands that this is a challenge. Me and her have to make it work, and they put more effort into it, and they are more sacrificial. من الأول, from the get-go, they sacrifice and they stay on their best behavior. Not the other way. So this is why, like I said, the divorce rates are much more higher today than it ever was. So clearly there is a problem. There is a problem. On another note, I would like to say that the man should not fall in love. Generally speaking, this is something for the woman to do. Let your woman fall in love with you. Do not fall in love. Because when you fall in love, you get consumed by the other person. And you become a part of him. And it's almost like you're putting yourself in a submissive position. An emotional submissive position. And this is something that only the woman should do. Now, can you fall in love and still retain your power and position? It's possible, but then you're playing with fire and you're relying on the type of person, on the type of woman that you are with. And I argue that if that woman knows what she has to do and what she doesn't have to do, and she's in good nature and is righteous and other things, then here it becomes possible and it becomes healthy. Otherwise, you can never do that. You can never do that. And even so, it's still a risk that you're taking. Because the women right now, they dream about a man who falls in love with them so much that he only sees them and whatever. But the moment you do that, trust me, they lose some respect for you. Some respect, at least, if not all of it. And the more you keep showing that you are head over heels for them, they keep losing respect, because women love to be inside their heads too much. They love that imagination that they create. Once you make it a reality, you're not leaving them much room to look up for more. You're already giving them what they want, and they are suckers for attention. They want your attention, and they want to do things to get your attention. But if you're already giving it to them so easily like that, then, like I said, you're relying on their good nature and their righteousness and their upbringing. And in these modern times, this is a challenge. Once upon a time, in a healthy and goodly and rightly and good functioning societies, that was possible. In an Islamic society, that was possible. That's why you have many good love stories between the Sahaba and their wives, for example, or the Prophet himself, peace be upon him, or the scholars, etc. Because the women knew what to do and not to do. And still, the men, even if they fell in love, eh, they didn't they didn't give up their masculinity. They didn't give up their position. They still, most of the times, retained their power. But today, you're fighting a lot of enemies, and to get out alive, you have to be careful and cautious. As for the woman, I think that the woman falls in love with you eventually if she respects you. For women, respect equals love. You can be whatever. You can be ugly. You can be even financially challenged. But if she respects you, she falls in love with you because you have that thing that she needs, whatever it is, depending on the woman. So you make her respect you, and she falls in love with you. And from then on, it's about how you treat her. Sometimes you give her what you want, what she wants, but again, you set the rules. You set the rules, and don't break them. When you don't break them, she doesn't break them. When she sees you breaking the same rules that you have made, then she will challenge you. She will challenge your authority. And women have this innate desire, I would say, to look up where the edge is so she cannot cross it, and how much she can cross, how much you are willing to let her cross. So it's all in your hand, the man. And women are programmed. You can program your woman. If you want her to be submissive, kind, cooperative, whatever the thing may be, you program her to be these things. You teach her. You lead the way. That's what it means to be lead. That's why the man has the qawama. All right. So I will play a clip that really talks about the difference between love and falling in love, and how it is the man that should set the rules and lead the way, and not the woman. So take a listen.
All right. Love is for adults. Being in love is for teenagers. All right. In love is like a drug. It's like you go to the doctor, he puts you under anesthesia. Eventually you come out of it. All right. Any drug wears off, including being in love. Love lasts. In love doesn't last. It's not made to last. So just the fact that these women are sitting around having a conversation about it shows you that really they just want to stay in a dream state. All right? But it's the is the end result of women being allowed to believe that they can establish the rules of engagement in a relationship with men. And they cannot. Because anytime you allow a woman to do that, it will lead to chaos. All right? In general, women are agents of chaos.
Yep, so that's it. And have a good day.